Ramesses II, also known as Ramesses the Great, is one of the most powerful and famous rulers in all of ancient history. He ruled Egypt during the height of the New Kingdom, a time when Egypt was wealthy, strong, and respected across the ancient world. Ramesses II was born around 1303 BC into a royal military family. His father, Seti I, was a successful pharaoh who restored Egypt's power after years of instability. From a very young age, Ramesses was prepared for leadership. He was trained in warfare, religion, politics, and administration, and he followed his father on military campaigns while still a teenager. By the age of 14, Ramesses was already named Prince Regent, which meant he was being groomed to rule Egypt alongside his father. When Seti I died, Ramesses II became pharaoh at about 25 years old. From the very beginning of his reign, he made it clear that he wanted to be remembered as the greatest ruler Egypt had ever known. He focused on strengthening Egypt's borders, expanding its influence, and most importantly, leaving behind a legacy that would last forever. Ramesses understood that power was not only about military strength, but also about image and memory. He began one of the largest building programs in ancient history, constructing temples, statues, and monuments across Egypt and Nubia, all carved with his name and likeness. One of his first major achievements was the construction of a new capital city called Ramesses, located in the Nile Delta. This city became the political and military center of Egypt and symbolized the strength of his reign. It was filled with palaces, temples, and massive statues, and it allowed Ramesses to control both trade routes and military campaigns more effectively. At the same time, he led numerous military expeditions to secure Egypt's borders against enemies in Nubia, Libya, and the Near East. The most famous military event of Ramesses II's reign was the Battle of Kadesh, fought around 1274 BCE against the Hittite Empire. This battle is considered one of the largest chariot battles ever fought in the ancient world. Ramesses marched his army toward the city of Kadesh, believing it was weakly defended, but he was misled by false information. The Hittites launched a surprise attack, nearly overwhelming the Egyptian forces. According to Egyptian inscriptions, Ramesses fought bravely and single-handedly turned the tide of battle with the help of the god Ammonius. While modern historians believe the battle ended in a stalemate, Ramesses presented it as a great victory. He carved detailed scenes of the battle onto temple walls across Egypt, showing himself as a heroic warrior chosen by the gods. Despite the lack of a clear military victory, the Battle of Kadesh led to something even more important. Years later, Egypt and the Hittite Empire signed the first known peace treaty in history. This agreement brought long-term stability to the region and showed that Ramesses was not only a warrior king, but also a skilled diplomat who understood the value of peace. Ramesses II is perhaps best remembered for his incredible construction projects. He built more monuments than any other pharaoh in Egyptian history. One of his most famous creations is the temple complex of Abu Simbel in southern Egypt. Carved directly into a mountainside, the main temple features 4 colossal statues of Ramesses II seated on the throne, each over 20 meters tall. Inside the temple, an extraordinary solar alignment allows sunlight to illuminate the inner sanctuary on specific days of the year, demonstrating the advanced engineering skills of ancient Egypt. Abu Simbel was designed to display Ramesses' power to both his people and foreign visitors. Another major monument was the Ramesseum, his mortuary temple located in Thebes. This temple was built to honor Ramesses after his death and to ensure that his name would be worshipped forever. He also added massive statues, columns, and inscriptions to the temples of Karnak and Luxor, further reinforcing his divine image. In many cases, Ramesses even replaced the names of earlier pharaohs with his own, making it seem as if he alone was responsible for Egypt's greatness. Religion played a central role in Ramesses II's reign. He presented himself as a god on earth, chosen by the gods to rule Egypt. He was closely associated with major deities such as Ammonius, Ra, and Ptah, and his temples emphasized his divine nature. This religious image helped maintain stability and loyalty among the Egyptian people. Ramesses II also had a vast and powerful family. He had multiple wives, but the most famous was Queen Nefertari, whom he deeply loved and honored. He built a magnificent tomb for her in the Valley of the Queens, decorated with vibrant paintings that remain some of the most beautiful in Egypt. Ramesses fathered more than 100 children, many of whom held important positions as generals, priests, and officials. This ensured that his influence extended throughout every level of Egyptian society. Ramesses II lived an extraordinarily long life, reaching nearly 90 years old, which was extremely rare in the ancient world. By the time he died around 1213 BCE, he had ruled Egypt for 66 years and had outlived many of his sons. His death marked the end of an era. He was buried in the Valley of the Kings, and his mummy, which still exists today, shows signs of old age, arthritis, and battle injuries, offering a rare glimpse into the life of one of history's greatest rulers. Thousands of years later, Ramesses II remains a symbol of power, ambition, and legacy. His statues still tower over temples, his name still appears carved in stone, and his story continues to inspire fascination around the world. Through military strength, diplomacy, architecture, and self-promotion, Ramesses the Great ensured that he would never be forgotten, truly earning his place as one of the greatest pharaohs in ancient Egyptian history.